Greetings class, I hope I find you well. In today's lesson we're going to touch on June 2013 SimSec paper 1. So we are going to start with the first question. It reads, subtract minus 2 from 2. Right, so from 2 it means you are taking away minus 2 from 2. So when writing, you are going to start with this 2, then you are subtracting minus 2 from 2. So you are going to have two negative signs. So this negative sign is indicating that you are subtracting, and the number that you are subtracting is minus 2. Negative times negative, it gives you plus. So 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. This is your answer. We move on to part B. Leaving your answer as a common fraction, right? Find in its lowest terms the value of 8 over 15 divided by 2 over 3. So let me start by writing the equation first. 8 over 15 divided by 2 over 3, something like this. When dividing fractions, you first of all convert this division sign into multiplication, and this is going to cause the fraction in front to become a reciprocal, where 2 over 3 is now written as 3 over 2. Then you identify factors which can cancel out each other. 3 is a factor of 15, so 3 into 3 is 1, 3 into 15 is 5. 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 8 is 4. 4 times 1, what do you get? You get 4. 5 times 1, what do you get? You get 5. So this is your answer in its lowest terms. I hope you are following class. So let us move on to question number 2. It reads, express 3 and 4 over 5 as a decimal number. A decimal number is a number with commas, right? So what you need to do is you need to deal with the fraction in front of 3. The fraction in front of that whole number 3. 4 over 5 is going to be expressed as a decimal. 5 into 4, what you get? It's 0. Then you put a comma. Then you put another 0 in front of 4. Where 5 into 40, you get 8. So it means 4 over 5 is good as 0, 8. So you now take this 3 and add it with the 0, 8, meaning to say that your final answer becomes 3, 8. I hope you are following class. Right, then we move on to part B of the question. Find the exact value of 0,83 plus 8,368 divided by 0,42. Right, so on this one I'm going to start by adding the numerator. 0,83 is going to be added by 8,368, something like this. So let me put 0 here. 0 plus 8, you get 8. 3 plus 6, you get 9. 8 plus 3, it gives you 11, which is 1, carry 1, put a comma. Then this one is going to add this 8, and you get 9. So it means your numerator is going to become 9,198. So you take 9,198 so that you divide it with 0,42. I hope you are following class. So when dividing decimal fractions or decimal numbers, you need to make sure that your denominator becomes a whole number. So you find a number that you multiply both the numerator and the denominator for the denominator to become a whole number. I'm going to multiply by 100. So if I multiply by 100, the comma is going to move 2 steps to the right. It gives you 919,8. So you are saying 1, 2. Then 42 becomes your denominator, right? 42. So let us find a number or a factor of 919,8 and 42. We can try 6, right? 6 into 42, you get 7. 6 into 9, you get 1, remainder 3. Then 6 into 31, you get 5, remainder 1. Since 6 into 30 is 5. 6 into 19, you get 3, remainder 1. Then 6 into 18 is 3. So we now have 153,3 divided by 7. So what is 7 into 15? 7 into 15 is 2, remainder 1. How about 7 into 13? You get 1, remainder 6. Then 7 into 63 is 9. So your final answer becomes 21,9. I hope you are following. Let us move on to question number 3. Find n such that 0,0075 is equals to 7,5 times 10 to the power of n. So what you need to do, you simply convert 0,0075 as a number in standard form. So I'm going to put a comma between 7 and 5, right? Remember, standard form is in the form a times 10 to the power of n, where a is representing a number between 1 to 10. So that's why I've placed a comma between 7 and 5 to find a. So our a is 7,5. Then you put times, then you write 10. So for numbers which starts with 0, something, they have got a negative power. And for you to identify the power, you simply count the number of digits between this original comma and the comma that we have placed. How many digits do we have? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 numbers between the original comma and the placed comma. So our power is going to become minus 3. This is how you go about it. So what is the value of n? You simply say n is equals to minus 3. Then you move on to part B. Calculate ABC. Which angle? This is the targeted angle. At B, they want you to calculate that angle. So for you to calculate angle ABC, you need to first of all find the angle at C in the smaller triangle. So this angle at C in the smaller triangle and the angle at C in the bigger triangle, they are equal. Taking it from the theorem that when two lines meet or when two lines intersect, opposite angles at the point of intersection between two lines are equal. So if this is x degrees, the opposite angle is also x degrees. If you have got y here, the opposite angle is also y. I hope you are following. So let us use the bigger triangle to find this C, which will lead us to the C in the smaller triangle. You need to appreciate that sum of angles in a triangle, they add up to 180. So you are saying 60 plus 90. What do you get? You get 150. Then you less 150 from 180. You get 30. So this angle is 30 degrees. So if this angle is 30, it simply means the opposite angle is also 30, right? So to find B, you are saying sum of angles in a triangle add up to 180. 50 plus this 30, it gives you 80, right? So 180 minus 80, it means angle B is equals to 100 degrees. So this is how you're supposed to find angle B. Let us move on to question number 4. It's write down the square of 4. So the square of 4, it means 4 to the power of 2, and your answer is 16. Do not confuse the square of 4 with the square root of 4. Right? If the question states square root of 4, This is whereby you put 4 inside the square root, and square root of 4 you get plus or minus 2. But they are saying square of 4. So it means raise 4 by power 2. So our answer is 16. Let us move on to part B. Evaluate 125 to the power of 1/3 times square root of 144. So on this one, I'm going to simplify 125 to the power of 1/3 first. So I'm going to make use of the law of indices, the fractional law of indices. Whenever you see a fractional power, it means there is a root sign. So what you need to do, you put a root sign. Whenever you see a fractional power, a root sign is placed. Then put x inside the root sign. The denominator b is placed at this corner, right? Then you raise everything by a. So I'm going to apply that concept. So 125 is good as x in our law. Then 1/3 is a over b in our law. So since the power is a fraction, it means put root sign. Then place 125 inside the root sign. The denominator 3 is placed at this corner. Then you raise everything by 1. I hope you are following. So what is the meaning of 3? 3 simply means the cube root of 125. Find a number which multiplies itself 3 times to get 125. Like if you take 5 times 5, you get 25. 25 times 5, you get 125. So the number which multiplies itself 3 times to get 125 is 5. So I'm going to put 5 to represent the cube root of 125, raised by power 1. 5 to the power of 1, you are left out with 5. Right. Then square root of 144, square root of 144 is 12. Remember, 12 times 12, you get 144. Right. So to then evaluate 125 to the power of 1/3 times root 144, I'm going to put 5, which is the answer that we got when simplifying 125 to the power of 1/3. Then you multiply 5 with the 12. It means your answer is 60. I hope you are following. All right, you are now on question number 5. It reads, express 3 square meters in square centimeters. Right, so what you need to do, you need to first of all identify the scale factor. The scale factor, I mean the relationship between meters and centimeters. So according to the scale factor, we say in 1 meter we have 100 centimeters. This is the scale factor relationship between meters and centimeters. In 1 meter we have 100 centimeters. Then you convert the scale factor into area factor. This is achieved by raising scale factor with power 2 both sides. You now have 1 square meters is equals to 100 squared is 100 times 100, so you'll be having 4 zeros. Square centimeter. So this is now your area factor. So you put 3 square meters on your left, then you put x on the right, then you cross multiply. So 1 times x, you get x. 3 times 10,000, you get 30,000. So your answer is 30,000 square centimeters. Let us move on to item 2. Express 32.5 meters per second in kilometers per hour. Right. So on this one, you need to understand that 1 meters per second is equals to 3.6 kilometers per hour. This relationship, you need to understand that in 1 meters per second, we have 3.6 kilometers per hour. I hope you are following. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 32.5 meters per second, 32.5 meters per second, and place it on my left. Then you put x on the right, you cross multiply. So x times 1, you get x. Then you multiply 32.5 with 3.6. So when multiplying decimals, you start by ignoring the commas. So you are saying 325 times 36. 0 is a placeholder. 3 times 5, you get 15. Carry 1. 3 times 2, you get 6 plus 1. It gives you 7. 3 times 3, you get 9. I hope you are following. Then 6 times 5, you get 30, so it's 0 carry 3. 6 times 2, it's 12, plus 3, you get 15, carry 1. 6 times 3, you get 18, plus 1, it gives you 19. So if you add, this is 0, 10, 5 plus 5 is 10, carry 1. 7 plus 9, you get 16, plus 1, it becomes 17, carry 1. Then 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 1, you get 11. So how many decimal places do we have? 1, 2. So I'm going to put comma after counting 2 numbers. So your answer is 117 kilometers per hour. Then you are home and dry. Let us move on to question number 6. Right, so question number 6, we are given a trapezium, which is A, B, C, D, and we have x from B to x, right? So what is the first question? State the special name given to the quadrilateral A, B, C, D. So the special name is trapezium. So this is how you, trapezium is your answer, right? Then calculate the area of the quadrilateral. So the area of trapezium is half A plus B times height, where A and B represent the sides which are moving in the same direction. So the sides which are moving in the same direction are denoted by the arrows. So these 2 arrows, they represent A and B. So A is 12 from the diagram. 12 is your A. Then 18 centimeters is covering from C to D. So from C to D, we have got 18. So I'm going to say plus 18, which is your B. Then your height is the perpendicular distance between A and B. And this is BX, which is 7. So we want to simplify. 12 plus 18, it gives you 30. Something like this. 2 into 30, you get 15. So you are now multiplying 15 with 7. So 7 times 5, it gives you 35. You write 5. Carry 3. Then 7 times 1, you get 7 plus 3, get 105. So your answer is 105 square centimeters. Then you are warm and dry. We move on to question number 7. Simplify x squared plus 7x plus 6 divided by x squared minus 36. So in order to simplify, you factorize both the numerator and the denominator. So I'm going to factorize the numerator first. So if you have got x squared with a coefficient of 1, it is very easy to factorize such quadratics. You put 2 brackets, then you put x, you put x. Then you are going to find 2 numbers, or the 2 factors of 6, which gives you a sum or a difference of 7. So the 2 numbers, we have plus 1, we also have plus 6. So 1 plus 6, it gives you 7. 1 times 6, it gives you 6. So you find 2 numbers which gives you 7 if you add them. then they give you 6 if you multiply them. I hope you are following. Then on your denominator, you can clearly notice that x squared minus 36 is representing difference of 2 squares. I hope you are following. So for difference of 2 squares, you put 2 brackets as well. You find the square root of x squared. So square root of x squared is x. Then you put minus. Square root of 36, you get 6. Then in this bracket, you write x plus 6. So for difference of 2 squares, you must have the first bracket with negative and the other bracket with plus. I hope you are following. Right, same applies if you have m squared minus 4. So you are saying square root of m squared is m minus square root of 4 is 2, but the second bracket must have plus in between. So we have factorized both the numerator and the denominator. Let us cancel out common brackets. X plus 6 is common with x plus 6. So you are going to be left out with x plus 1 on top and x minus 6. And this is your final answer. I hope you are following. So do not proceed further by cancelling x and x. No, x and x, they are not going to cancel out each other because we have plus 1 and minus 6. So they are not equal. Let us move on to question number 8. 8 is in line with circle geometry, right? It reads, in the diagram, P, Q, R, and S are points on the circumference of a circle, and arcs QR and RS are equal. TP is a tangent to the circle at P. TPS is equal to 70 degrees. And RPS is equal to 30 degrees. Here comes the first question. Calculate angle QPR. So where is Q? This is Q, right? PR. They want you to calculate this angle. Right, so there is a theorem which says angles opposed by equal arcs or equal chords are equal. So if you have AB as the arc on your left and BC at the arc on your right, you can notice that AB and BC are equal. So if this angle is 20 degrees, this angle becomes also 20. Why? Because they are being subtended by the same arc. So angles subtended by the same arc are equal. Right. So arc RS is subtending 30. And arc RS is equivalent to arc QR. It simply means this angle at P is also 30. So our first solution is 30 degrees. Good. We move on to part B. Calculate PRS. This is P, this is R, this is S. They want you to calculate this angle. Right. So to calculate that angle, you need to be aware of the theorem of tangents. If you have a cyclic triangle inside the circle, by a cyclic triangle, I mean the triangle must have all 3 vertices lying on the circumference. It creates what we call alternate segment when the tangents meet this lower part of the triangle and an angle is formed. Let's say if this angle is 80 degrees, right? And this is representing a chord, right? So the region above this chord is known as the alternate segment. So we simply say the angle at the point of intersection between the cyclic triangle and the tangent, it is equivalent to the angle inside the triangle. Right? So we are saying if this is 80 degrees, the opposite angle inside the triangle is also. If you have 60 degrees at this point, it means 60 degrees is equivalent to the opposite interior angle inside the cyclic triangle, which is also 60. So same applies. We want to find angle R, but you can clearly notice that R, S, and P is a cyclic triangle. So if this angle is 70, it simply means you have 70 degrees at R. So PRS is equals to 70 degrees. We move on to part C. Calculate PQR. PQR. They want you to calculate this angle, right? So to find PQR, you can still use that theorem of alternate segment, but you are now considering the angle between the tangent and the cyclic triangle PQR from this point up to this point. So you are saying 70 plus 30, it gives you 100, which is the angle between cyclic triangle PQR and the tangent. So this 100 is equal to Q, which is opposite to this. So you can say PQR is equals to 100 degrees. Right, so another way to calculate the same angle, you were going to find angle at S using the concept sum of angles in a triangle add up to 180. So you are saying 70 plus 30, it gives you 100. You say 180 minus 100, you get 80 degrees at S, right? Then you make use of the theorem of cyclic quad. Cyclic quad is a shape with 4 sides and all vertices lying on the circumference. Opposite angles of a cyclic quad, they add up to 180. So x plus y, you get 180. If this is A, if this is B, A plus B, you also get 180. So to find Q, you simply say 180 minus 80. You still get the 100. That was another way of identifying 100. Let us move on to question number 9. Question number 9 is in line with variation. It reads, E varies directly. Directly means take as it is. So I'm going to start by writing E first. Varies, you put a variation sign. Directly, it means take as it is. So E varies directly as the square of V. I think you now know the meaning square of V from the previous question where we were asked to find the square of 4. We used 4 squared and our answer was 16. So square of V, it simply means V squared. Right. So we are now removing this variation sign. You place equal sign, but you multiply the right side with K. You now have K V squared. Right. But since the question states express E in terms of V and a constant M, it means instead of multiplying with K, we are multiplying with M. So you can write your answer as E is equals to M V squared. K is a common constant which is used in majority of the questions of variation. We normally use K as the constant, but this time around the examiner wants you to use M instead of K. So if you write E is equals to K V squared, you will be marked wrong. They want you to use M as their constant. So E is equals to M V squared. Let us move on to part B. Given that E is equals to 3, when V is equals to 2, find M. So it's now simple. You are going to put 3 on E is equals to M, open bracket. V is equals to 2. You put 2 on V, then you raise it by power 2. So you get 3 is equals to 4 for M. Then you divide both sides by 4. You get 3/4 is equals to M, and this is your final answer. Let us move on to question number 10. From the laws of indices, x to the power of 0, it gives you 1, But I want you to notice something. We have three situations. 3 to the power of 0, minus 3 in brackets to the power of 0, and minus 3 to the power of 0 without brackets. Right. So for 3 to the power of 0, your answer is 1. For minus 3 in brackets to the power of 0, your answer is 1. But if minus 3 is not in brackets, it means the minus is not going to be affected by the 0. So for this situation, your answer is minus 1. So take note of that. So if you look carefully, the 3 was inside the brackets. It means 0 is affecting both the minus and the 3. So for this situation, our answer is 1. I hope you are following. Then we move on to part B of the question. Evaluate 16 over 81 to the power of minus 3 over 4. From the law of fractional, the fractional indices law, we mentioned earlier on that if the power is a fraction, there is a root sign. You put your root sign, you put x inside the root sign, b at the corner, then raise everything with a. I hope you are following. Right. But this can only be done if the power is positive and not negative. Right. Here we have minus 3/4. So we are not allowed to apply this law whilst the power is negative. So we need to erase the negative sign first before applying this law. So how do we erase the negative sign? You reciprocate the numbers inside the bracket. By reciprocal, I mean interchange the denominator with the numerator. So you are now putting 81 on top and 16 at the bottom. Then the negative 3/4 become a positive 3/4 by reciprocating the numbers inside the bracket. So on the 3/4, you don't reciprocate. You don't write 3/4 as 4/3. No, you reciprocate the terms inside the bracket for the negative to disappear. So now that we have a positive fractional power, we can now apply this law. We are going to put a root sign, then place 81 over 16 inside the root sign. This for the denominator, place it at the corner so that you raise everything with 3. Let us proceed. What is the meaning of 4? Find a number which multiplies itself 4 times to get 81. So if we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3, 27. 27 times 3, you get 81. So a number which multiplies itself 4 times to get 81 is 3. But since this is a fourth root, you write plus or minus. Why? Because minus 3 times minus 3 4 times, you still get 81. So it's plus or minus. So I'm going to write plus or minus 3 at the top. I hope you are following. Then what is the fourth root of 16? It's 2. If 2 multiplies itself 4 times, you get 16. So raise it by 3. Then we have this law of indices, which says that if you have 3, it raises both the numerator and the denominator. So you get a to the power of 3 divided by b to the power of 3. So here you are going to get plus or minus 3 to the power of 3 divided by 2 to the power of 3, which is good as plus or minus 27 divided by 8, which is equals to plus or minus, what is 18 to 27? 18 to 27, you get 3. 3. So you write your answer is 3 and 3 over 8. Something like this. This is your final result. Let us move on to question number 11. Right, on question number 11, we are given in the diagram GHJ is a straight line. HJK is equals to 90 degrees. JK is equals to 5 centimeters. HK is equals to 10 centimeters. Find sine of GHK. So this is G and this is H and this is K. They want you to find sine of this angle. So for you to find the sine of this angle, you first of all find the sine of the smaller angle first. I hope you are listening. So sine from the troubleshooter, we have what you call SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA is the troubleshooter. We are saying sine theta is equals to opposite over hypotenuse. Cos theta is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. So if you have your diagram like this, where this is theta and this is 90 degrees, the side which contains both 90 and theta is known as the adjacent. Then the side which is opposite to 90 degrees, we refer to this side as the hypotenuse. And this is your opposite. I hope you are following. So it simply means for you to find sine, you are using the formula opposite over hypotenuse. So our hypotenuse is the side which is opposite to 90 degrees. In this case, we have 10. Our opposite is the side which is opposite to this theta, and the side is 5. So I'm going to write 5 on opposite. Then I write 10 on hypotenuse, which can be reduced as 1 over 2. And this is your final answer. I hope you are following. Right. But the case was going to be different if you were asked to find cos GHK. For cos, you are saying adjacent over hypotenuse first. You write adjacent over hypotenuse. So cos of smaller angle is equals to negative cos of bigger angle. I hope you are following. Like if you have a line, then this is 120 and this is 60. We are saying cos of 60 is equivalent to negative cos of 120. It applies also for tan. Tan of 60 is equals to negative tan of 120. But for sine, sine is the odd one out. So sine 60 is equals to sine 120 without placing a negative. I want you to notice something. To find sine of this outer angle, you first of all find sine of the inner angle. Then you take your answer as it is, like what I did. The answer was half. Right? But the situation is different when it comes to cos and tan. For cos and tan, you first of all find cos theta, which is the smaller angle here. So cos theta is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, right? Then your answer that you are going to get, you put a negative sign for you to find cos of GHK. I hope you are following. Similar, to find tan GHK, you first of all find tan theta using the formula opposite over adjacent. Then you put negative sign to find the sine of the bigger angle. But for sine, you don't put a negative sign. I hope you are following. Right, let us move on to part B. Calculate HJ, leaving your answer in said form. A said form, it means you leave your answer in root form. So since we have got two sides known, we make use of Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem, it says that hypotenuse squared is equals to a squared plus b squared. Remember, hypotenuse is the longest side, which is opposite to 90 degrees. So in this diagram that we have, hypotenuse is being represented by 10. So I'm going to say 10 squared is equals to hj squared, which is the required side, plus the other side is 5 plus 5 squared. something like this. So for Pythagoras theorem, you just need to make sure that on the left side you put the hypotenuse, right? So what is 10 squared? 10 squared, it gives you 100 is equals to hj squared. 5 squared is equals to 25. Then you are going to move 25 to the left. You get 100 minus 25 is equals to hj squared. So what is 100 minus 25? It gives you 75 is equals to hj squared. Then you put square root both sides to make hj the subject of the formula. So your answer is square root of 75, and you leave it in set form. Right, sometimes they may ask you to leave it in reduce the set form, which is a root b form. A root b form is a set form which is reduced. So to reduce square root of 75 in a root b form, you find two numbers which multiply each other. Of the two numbers, one of them must be a perfect square. So you can say 25 times 3. 25 times 3, it gives you 75. 25 is a perfect square. So what is square root of 25? It's 5. So you reduce, the answer is 5 root 3, which is good as root 75. Let us move on to question number 12. Given that m is equals to 5, 5, 3x, n is equals to 3, 4, find the determinant of m in terms of x. So let me write m is equals to 5, 5, 3x first. So to find determinant, DETM, you are saying bracket minus bracket. This is your first diagonal, and this is your second diagonal, right? So you multiply numbers in the first diagonal, then you less them with the product of numbers in the second diagonal. So in the first bracket, you are saying 5 times x. These are numbers in the first diagonal. Then in the second bracket, you are saying 3 times 5, which is the product of numbers in the second diagonal. 5 times x, you get 5x. You put negative. Then 3 times 5, it gives you 15. So your answer is 5x minus 15. This is part A. Let us move on to part B. Part B, it reads, find the modulus of vector n, right? So modulus of vector n is found by the formula square root of x squared plus y squared. So x is the number above, in this case x is 3, y is the number below, and y is 4. So you say square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16, you get 25. I hope you are following. So what is square root of 25? Square root of 25 is 5. So 5 is the modulus of n, or of vector n, which is your answer in part B. Let us move on to part C. Find the value of x given that determinant of m is equals to modulus of n. So determinant of m, we found it in part A. We got 5x minus 15 in part A. So that 5x minus 15 is now being equated with the modulus of n, where modulus of n is 5. So to find the x, this is the equation. So you are saying 5x is equals to 5 plus 15. 5x is equals to 20. Then divide both sides by 5. You get x is equals to 4 as your final answer. Let us move on to question number 30. Write down the gradient of the line whose equation is 3x plus 2y is equals to 18. So from the form of equation of a line, y is equals to mx plus c, it simply means gradient is the coefficient of x provided y is the subject of the formula. So for you to identify gradient being given the equation of a line, you simply make y the subject of the formula. After making y the subject of the formula, the coefficient of x after making y the subject of the formula represents your gradient. So you are saying 3x plus 2y is equals to 18 is the given line. Make y the subject by moving 3x to the right side first. You get 2y is equals to minus 3x plus 18. Remember, the positive 3x become minus 3x if we move it to the right side. Then divide independently both sides by 2. 2 into 2, they cancel off each other, leaving you with y is equals to minus 3 over 2x. Then what is 2 into 18? 2 into 18, you get 9. So the coefficient of x after making y the subject is your gradient. It means our gradient in part A, your answer is minus 3 over 2, which can be written as minus 1.5 or minus 1,5. Right, let us move on to part B of the question. Right, find the equation of a straight line which is parallel. Parallel, it means the equation that we are about to find, that the same gradient with that of part A. So parallel means same gradient. So find the equation of a line with same gradient to the line 3x plus 2y is equals to 18 and passes through minus 2 and 3. I hope you are following class. Right. So what you do is you write, there is another form of line that you can make use of. Y minus bar y is equals to m, open bracket, x minus bar x. So it's either you can use y is equals to mx plus c, or you can make use of y minus bar y is equals to m, open bracket, x minus bar x. So bar y and bar x, or bar x and bar y, they represent the given point where the line is passing through, and the point is minus 2, 3. So bar x is minus 2 and bar y is 3. So I'm substituting here, y, you put minus here. Then what is bar y? Bar y is 3, so you're going to write 3. Then you are saying minus 3 over 2, since m represents the gradient, and the gradient was calculated in part A is minus 3 over 2, put open bracket, write x, you put this negative sign, but bar x is minus 2, so you have minus, minus. So the first negative is on the formula, but bar x is a negative number, so it is going to give you a positive if you multiply the two signs. Then you want to cross multiply, or you want to multiply both sides by 2 to clear up the fractions here. So I'm going to multiply by 2 on the right, then you multiply by 2 on the left. So 2 times y, you get 2y. 2 times minus 3, you get minus 6. Then 2 and 2, they cancel off each other on the right. You'll be left with minus 3, x plus 2. You get 2y minus 6 is equals to minus 3x. Then minus times plus, you get minus 3 times 2, it gives you 6. You get 2y is equals to minus 3x minus 6. If you move this 6 to the right, it becomes plus 6, something like this. So your answer is 2y is equals to minus 3x. Minus 6 plus 6, it gives you 0. So you can leave your answer as 2y is equals to minus 3x. You will be correct. Or you can divide both sides by what? By 2 to make y the subject, and your answer becomes y is equals to minus 3 over 2x. Then you are home and dry. Stay tuned as we move on to question number 14. Given that h open bracket 35 plus k open bracket 2 minus 1 is equals to 14, 6, find the scalars h and k. So to find the scalars, you simply multiply each and every number inside the bracket by those scalars. So here you are going to get 3h, then 5h below, then plus 2k, k times minus 1, you get minus k is equals to 14 and 6, something like this. Then you combine the two brackets on your left through addition. You get 3h here plus 2k. Here it's 5h plus and minus, you get minus. So it's 5h minus k is equals to 14 and 16 below. Right, so to find h and k, you now use the concept of simultaneous equations. 3h plus 2k is equals to 14. 5h minus k is equals to 6. So we want to use the elimination method, right, to make the coefficient of h the same. So the equation above is going to be multiplied by 5. Then the equation below is going to be multiplied by 3. Right, so I'm going to multiply by 5 both sides. 5 times 3h, you get 15, 15h. Then 5 times 2k, it gives you 10k. I hope you are following. Then 5 times 14, you get 70. 5 times 14 is 70. Good. Then 3 times 5, it's 15h. 3 times minus k, you get minus 3k. Then 3 times 6, you get 18. So we now need to subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So I normally encourage students to put negative signs in between like terms so as to avoid or to minimize errors. 15h minus 15h, you get 0. Then this negative sign and this negative sign, they give you a plus, so it becomes 10 plus 3, which is 13k. Then what is 70 minus 18? 70 minus 18, you get 52. So you are saying 70 minus 18, there is a placeholder you carry here. 10 minus 8, it's 2. Then 7 minus 2, it's 5. Then to find k, you divide both sides by what? By 13. 13 into 13, they cancel off each other, leaving you with k on the left. So what is 13 into 52? You get 4. Since if you multiply 13 by 4, you get 12 here, carry 1. Then 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So 13 by 4, it gives you 52, right? So it simply means 13 into 52, you get 4. Right, now that we have 4, you choose equation of your choice to find h. We can make use of equation number 2, 5h minus k is equals to 6. So you are putting 4 on k, it becomes 5h minus 4 is equals to 6. You get 5h is equals to 6 plus 4. You get 5h is equals to 10. So divide both sides by 5. H is equals to 2, and this is your final result. So let us move on to question number 15. Right. So question number 15 is in line with the issue of logarithms. Right. So if you are given log 3 to base 10 is 0,4071 and log 5 to base 10 is 0,6991. They want you to find log 1 and 2/3 to base 10. Right, so you need to understand these laws that when you divide, you subtract. So log A over B is good as log A minus log B. This is the law that you need to understand in order to attack this question. Right. Then, if you write log 1 and 2/3, you first of all convert 1 and 2/3 to become an improper fraction. You get log to base 10. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2, you get 5. So this is 5 over 3, right? So this is log 5 over 3. So in this case, 5 is representing A, 3 is representing B. So if we expand this, you get log 5 to base 10 minus log 3 to base 10. So log 5 is given as 0,6991. So you are saying 0,6991 minus log 3 is 0,4771. So minus 0,4771. So to simplify, you align the commas. 0,6991 minus 0,4771. 1 minus 1, you get 0. 9 minus 7, 2. 9 minus 7, 2. 6 minus 4, 2. Then you put a comma, you align. 0 minus 0 is 0. So your answer is 0,222. We move on to part B of the question. Find log 30 to base 10. So to find log 30, you to identify two numbers which produce 30 when they multiply each other. So this law is log AB is equals to log A plus log B. It means when you multiply, you add. But when you divide, you subtract. So I need to identify two numbers which gives me 30. And those two numbers are 3 times 10. So if we expand this, you get log 3 to base 10 plus log 10 to base 10. I hope you are following. So 3 is representing A, 10 is representing B. So what is log 3? Log 3 is given as 0,4771. Then log 10, these are common logs. You need to know them by head. That log 10,000 is equal to 4. Log 1,000 is equal to 3. Log 100 is equal to 2. Log 10 is equal to 1. The number of zeros is the answer. So log 10, there was no need for the examiner to give us the result for log 10 because they expect you to know log 10 by head. So how many zeros on 10? 1. So log 10 is 1. So you are adding the two numbers. You get 1,4771, and this is your final result. So I want you to stay tuned as we move on to question number 16. Right, we are now on question number 16. This is in line with circular measure, the topic of circles. Right. We are given the diagram OAB is a sector. Remember, a sector is extracted from a circle of radius 7 centimeters. The radius is given. You need to know that if this is 7, this is also 7. OA and OB are equal. Right. Calculate the length of arc AB. So length of arc is found by the formula theta over 360 times 2 pi r, where 2 pi r denotes the circumference. So the instruction of the paper is instructing you to use 22 over 7 on pi. And your theta is 30. So you are saying 30 over 360 times 2 times 22 over 7 times 7, right? So 0 and 0, they cancel off each other. We want to reduce 30 over 360 and its lowest terms. 3 into 3, you get 1. Then 3 into 36, you get 12. So you now have 1 over 12 times 2 times 22 over 7 times 7. So 7 and 7, they also cancel off each other. So you are now left with 1 times 2 times 22. So 1 times 2 times 22, it gives you 44. Then 44 is now divided by 12 for you to get the final result. So what is the common factor of 44 and 12? You can make use of 4. 4 into 44, you get 11. Then 4 into 12, it gives you 3. So what is 3 into 11? You get 3, remainder 2. So your answer is 3 2/3 centimeters. This is the length of the arc. Then we move on to part B. Calculate the area of sector A or B. So area of sector is found by the formula theta over 360, but this time around you multiply with the pi r squared. So the difference between sector and arc is, for arc you multiply with the 2 pi r, but for sector you multiply with pi r squared. So you are saying 30 over 360 times 22 over 7 times 7 squared. Remember r is 7, so you multiply with 7 squared. So 30 over 360 is good as 1 over 12 in its lowest terms. We dealt with it already. Then 7 into 7 squared, you'll be left out with 7, because in 7 squared we have 2 7s. So 7 into 7 squared, you'll be left with 7. So you now have 22. Then you are multiplying with 7. This can be reduced. 2 into 12, you get 6. Then 2 into 22, you get 11. Something like this. So 1 times 11 times 7, it gives you 77 to be divided by 6. So 6 into 7, you get 1, remainder 1. Then 6 into 17, you get 2, right? But remainder 5. So your answer is 12 and 5 over 6 square centimeters.